Welcome to the Week 12 edition of the Simoneaux Show. Here with head coach David Simoneaux. It's round 2 of the playoffs. I know there's a buzz going around town right now. We just finished off last week and took it to East St. John. But before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode. It's Signature Custom Cabinets. Corey Hill, you were just telling me about Corey a little bit.
Yeah, Corey and his wife Danielle do an awesome job supporting our program, helping with the Gridiron Club. And I know they do great work, so if you're looking for some custom cabinets, give those guys a call.
Yeah, so kind of we're going to run through last week a little bit. We traveled to Reserve to play East St. John, who always are a pretty good playoff contender, Coach. Going pretty deep in the playoffs, year after year. And I know they had some good-looking athletes out there. So, we really just physically dominated those guys on both sides of the ball. Just talk a little bit about that and how proud you are of your guys and the performance.
Yeah, man. Super proud, and the type of physicality that we displayed is just, what I want to be our calling card. It all started with the offensive line. I mean, those guys were just dominant all night long, and Andrew Richard and the boys just knocking people off the rock, and then Damon, 30 carries, 227 yards. Damon's just a workhorse, man, and a tough kid, humble, unassuming guy. One of my favorite parts of the whole night was the next morning I heard the interview that he had with one of the outlets, and the whole thing was just talking about how great his offensive line was, how appreciative he was of Coach Morris and the game plan he called, and how Jackson got us in some good play calls, and how Coach Camp called it great on the defensive side of the football. And, man, you can't help but just endear yourself to people that understand that this is he's just one part of this whole thing, and he downplays how good he is, but man, he's had such a great year for us, and has been just a great standard bearer for our organization. Defensively, we had a second half shutout with the ones, and they scored 9 points in the first half. They were all hard earned. They scored on 4th and goal from the 6-yard line. Like I said, just making those dudes earn it was a great game plan by Coach Camp. We were trying to keep the ball in front of us. We knew how explosive they were throwing the football. And there were some times that they were running the football on us because we were presenting a very light box, but I was proud of the way that we rallied around that, So special teams, we did some good things. Special teams, we forced a takeaway on that side of the football. Still got to get a little bit more consistent in some areas in that game if we want to continue to advance. But man, all in all, just to go on the road and to play like that, and then the way our fans have just supported us throughout this stretch, man. Our people far outnumbered the people that were on the East St. John sideline. It was a great atmosphere from start to finish, So I'm just proud of what's being built here, and hungry to keep it going.
Yeah, it's awesome. And as you mentioned, offensively, really dominated the line of scrimmage, and Damon Blocker, played a heck of a game. I thought he ran the ball really well, but man, he sure did have some nice lanes to run through. So credit to that offensive line. Aiden Wilkinson coming back, I think, is just so huge or just being healthy, overall is so huge for the run game as well as the pass game. Guy makes plays.
I got to say, as well as we ran the football, we were 5 for 8 on 3rd down, and we were 3 for 3 on 4th down. Every single 3rd down that we didn't convert got us into a good position to convert a 4th down at midfield, or there was one crucial situation that I felt like we needed to just keep the ball in our hands and make sure that they didn't get any life. And so we were able to sneak the football across the line for a 1st down. And the ball security for our football team has been so strong, and the turnover margin has been something that's been a big plus for our football team all year long. So excited about the way we're trending in that regard.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I just feel it looked like the guys were focused, as far as their assignments, doing things the right way. Just looked like a disciplined football team. So it was really fun to watch, and defensively, obviously, like you said, they scored, I think, late in the second half, 4th and 6 on the goal line, or something along those lines.
So they scored on that 4th and 6 in the probably second quarter, with about 38 seconds left to go in the half, and then to make it 15 is when they scored on our second unit at the end of the football game. And that was a tough task for those guys. We did talk to those guys. We want to place a premium on execution. When those guys get in there, we want them to be where they're supposed to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing. We know they may get outsized or out-athleted or whatever it may be. So I thought we did a really good job of that on the offensive side of the football. We moved the ball with our second unit, Defensively, we had a big coverage bust that put us in a bad situation. So something we want to clean up with those young guys if they get any more opportunities.
Sure, absolutely. But a lot of positives, from that game. So I know this week, we're getting ready to go up to North Louisiana and play Neville, the giant up there, or one of the giants up there in the northern part of the state. Always have a great program. We're going to dive into that a little bit. But before that, would you like to touch on a few clips and go over some clips from the game?
Let's do it.
Starting on the defensive side of the ball here, Coach, it was late in the game, 29-9, so we had the lead. Kind of their last effort here to try to continue this drive and get back in the ball game, and big 4th and 1 stop by KD Mays in the defense.
Yeah, man. Look, I love the physicality piece of what KD Mays does here, coming from the outside in, and hole opens up, and he just accelerates the contact. 26 was a good back for these guys, and ran hard all night long. We had some trouble getting him on the ground, but not right here. And Brandon Baker's in there fighting his butt off. Kyle Veal comes and runs through a tackle, and you got some safeties come and get in the mix. Man, just finishing on top. Sideline's going crazy. This was kind of their final stand, and thought we did a great job of sniffing it out and getting up in there and shutting it down.
Absolutely. Look, you gotta love the violence that KD Mays brings to contact, and then on top of that, seeing all the guys, being right there to finish the playoff is just a great defensive play.
We're tough when we play together, man. And I was just proud to see all those guys coming and swarm the football like that.
2nd and 10 right here, staying on the defensive side of the ball. Coach Camp sends some pressure, and gets there, but the quarterback was able to shake loose, but relentless pursuit backside by Connor Scott.
Yeah, man, hats off to this quarterback, man. He was extremely elusive and a tough kid, played hard all night long. We got a couple of free hitters that don't get home. The leverage piece of things is something that we got to continue to work on. But you got to love the aggressiveness and the way that these guys are going about their work. But Connor Scott, just doesn't assume that the play is going to be made and continues with a great motor. Guy's trying to shake loose. He's got 2 hands on his jersey and was able to sling him down. So great football play, great effort.
Yeah, Connor's been a big producer as of late. I feel for the defense side of the ball, been one of those bright spots that's kind of, I feel it's gotten better each game. 2nd quarter right here, sticking with the defense. It's a tightly contested game at this point, 7-3. They have the ball, and just a great individual effort, great play right here by Manny Williams.
Yeah, man, the open field tackling portion of things and the vicing of ball carriers is something that we've really been harping on as of late. You can see here, Manny comes inside, and we tell him, if you do go inside, you better do this. Blow up the wide receiver who's trying to block you and be able to secure the tackle. This guy was such a great athlete. He shakes loose, but, man, the relentlessness of Manny, you can see it from the end zone angle, of just staying the course, and after he drags him back 10 yards, the guy gets loose. He just comes and devours him again, and that way it wasn't ruled forward progress, So it ends up being a 14-yard stop, and they punted the football the next football play.
Switching over to the offensive side of the ball, this is 2nd quarter, 7-3, 3rd and 16. Big conversion right here by the offense.
Yeah, man. The offensive unit, we've been talking to them about taking a lot of pride in the execution piece of what we do. We don't want to just be all brawn. We want to have some brains to us too. And this is a great call by Coach Morris. Damon Blocker out in front, leading on the quarterback draw. Jackson Furman has proven time and time again that he can hurt you with his legs as well. So I thought this was a great play, really impressive run, and just great execution from top to bottom by the offense.
Yeah, I agree. Great call right there by Zach Morris. And again, you mentioned it. Jackson Furman can really do some damage with his legs. So right here, it's the 4th quarter. We've been running the ball, on them very, very well all game, and this is kind of like you said, it was kind of indicative of what we did all night, on these guys. Just ran the rock, just a simple inside zone, it looked like to me, and just offensive line just coming off the ball and mauling these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of this first level surge. I like to show that O-line when they're moving people off the rock. I mean, the line of scrimmage goes from the 44-yard line to like the 39-yard line in a hurry, and Damon's just like shot out of a cannon, man, and accelerates to the 2nd level and the 3rd level. Big 30-yard gain, and I love it when it's 3rd and 7 we're able to do stuff like this.
So we ran the ball really well all night, but also I thought we passed the ball. At the times where we did pass the ball, I thought we threw it pretty well. This was a big conversion early in the game, 7-3 at this point. Keithan Womack catches it and scampers down the field for a big first down.
Yeah, and, it was a wet ball night, so I thought that the quarterbacks and receivers did a great job of handling those, as well as the ball carriers. Jackson did a great job. Something we saw on film throughout the course of the week that we thought would be a good look. Again, kudos to Coach Morris on the play call, but really Keithan Womack sits this slant down in the zone window, which is super smart, and then he's got to elevate to go up and catch the football, and then burst vertical past several people and finishes. So huge 22-yard gain on 3rd and 7, and just again placing that premium on execution. These guys are doing a great job of it.
Moving over to the special teams side of the ball, thought we executed pretty well all night. I know y'all were trying to keep the ball out of those returners' hands, so you kind of were squibbing the ball down the field a little bit. Just love the hustle on this play.
Yeah, they did have 2 great returners and that house kickoffs on pretty much everybody that we saw. So Nathan Zimmer did a good job with his ball placement all night long and keeping the balls out of his hands. This is in the 4th quarter, and this is not an onside kick. It's just a squib down to the right. The ball takes a good bounce and goes over the second line defender's head. And then, man, the effort of everybody on this team, we're up 36-9. The game's probably in hand. We still got our starters out there, and just the coverage piece is really, really good, and the hunger is really good. And then everybody's excited to get the takeaway, and offense goes back out there and is able to punch it in one more time.
2nd quarter, 3:37 left. It's another special teams play right here. We just scored a touchdown, and looks like we picked up on something that they were doing across the front there, and we decided to just fake it and run it right at the gut and converted this 2-point.
Yeah, credit goes to Coach Trenton Gay. He saw this, and this is something we used to run together when we were at Catholic High, Point Capee, and so we called it whale, and so we made the check, and these guys just kind of wedge blocked it on up in there, and Damon Blocker, of course, is a very capable ball carrier, so it's cool to just see our dudes coming off the ball and kind of catching them by surprise and making sure that we got up 15-3 and 12-point margin.
Yeah, I felt that was a huge score, in the game at that point. 3 minutes or so left in the 2nd quarter there, and to go up 15-3 at that point, I felt that was a big, massive play right there.
You could feel the tide starting to turn, and then the physical domination piece of this is something that you got to love.
All right, Coach. So shifting gears here toward the Neville Tigers. Got to travel up to Monroe this week. Good long trip up there to go play these guys, and obviously they're a very good football team. They're a physical bunch. They're big across the front. They want to run the football. Just talk about the challenge for the team and for the guys this week.
Yeah, man. First of all, it just starts. We got a ton of respect for the program and the name of Neville. Coach Tannehill is a guy that I've spent a little time with on the phone over the years, and is a great guy. Their defensive coordinator, Mike Collins, I was able to coach one of his sons when I was a young coach, and Coach actually worked with us for one spring, but he's worked at LSU, ULM, and been in the college game for a long time. It's just a tremendous defensive mind. They got a lot of moving pieces to their defense. They play hungry and physical, and the scheme is superior to a lot of the people that we've seen. Offensively, they pose a big challenge in that they do like to pound the rock. They got good size up front. They have 2 running backs that can run it. And they have a big physical offensive line, tight end that, they have a tough scheme to defend with the zone read option and some of the play action stuff that they mix into it. And then special teams is super sound, and, on the field for Neville is playing hard, and playing with a lot of pride, so, man, we know that it's going to be a war, and we know that the guys got to be ready to play a 48-minute fist fight. It would be rare air to be able to, go into the next round of the playoffs. 2013 was the last time that, we've advanced to the quarterfinals. That was my second to last year here, and that was just, some great times. And so, what we're talking to the guys about is what affects winning, and what can you do this week to make sure that you're preparing to perform come Friday night. We're continuing to harp on the competitive maturity and just the sense of urgency that it takes to prepare for a great opponent like this. And today we had a walkthrough, and where we were just teaching, all the different looks that we're going to see on the offensive side of the ball, their defense, and then on the defensive side of the ball, all the option responsibilities and all the things we've got to do to be able to defend them in their play action game and the different personnel packages. and it's voluminous, man. It's big, you know. So on top of that, Coach Camp's wife is having a baby, being induced to have a baby on Wednesday. So you know, makes it a little bit more work for all of us this week. But we're excited about that for those guys. You know, excited to get everybody on the road up there to North Louisiana. You know what is tough for us is the 4-hour trip up there, and you know, something that we haven't done this year. I thought we did a good job at handling the road trip last week to East St. John. Only an hour versus 4 hours. But, you know, all in all, man, just a good, physical, solid, well-coached opponent. Kids play hungry and hard. You know, they remind me a lot of the type of tenacity that we want our kids to play with. And certainly Neville is a standard in the state of Louisiana in terms of quality football. And we're going to have our medal testing on Friday night.
Sure. Yeah, I know they're, you know, as far as they're concerned, their defense held Russ to, 14 points. So, you know, I know those guys can play on that side of the ball, and offensively, you know, they just want to run the ball and they want to overpower you, and they have a lot of, you know, 10, 12, even, you know, 15 or 15 plus play drives. So I just feel 3rd down and 4th down is going to be huge this week, coming up with some big stops, you know, in the trenches. And you know, I think our guys, you know, hope they understand that they can play with these guys. And, you know, they've played a couple really good teams, and Zachary and Catholic, and been right there. Yeah. You know, it's going to be a physical game, but, man, I'm ready to see how we respond this week.
Well, my message to the guys is, you know, we've had opportunities like this in the past. And in 2011, we were the number 33 seed that made the playoffs because we won the district championship. We were able to go upset St. Paul's on the road. You remember this?
That's right.
You know, they were the number 1 seed, obviously, but then the next week, Ruston came to us at home as a 16 seed. And, you know, on paper, just, you know, St. Paul's looked like a much better team. And we're finally back at home. And, you know, I just thought that we maybe had got the fat cat syndrome and just thought we'd arrived, or thought that this was going to be a little bit easier. And Ruston just outplayed us that night, made more plays, and we didn't execute the way we needed to, and they beat us 29-18 at our place. And it was a tough loss because we were trending in the right direction. And you felt like you were going to continue to rock and roll, you know. So we got to go earn it, man. And the way you earn it is you win the film session, you know, you win the walkthrough, and you win the practice. And, you know, hopefully they're preparing their bodies the best they can this week, too, to be able to go out to Neville Friday night and be in a war, man, for 48 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I know I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure Wildcat Nation is looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, man, I just got to thank all Wildcat Nation. The support last week was awesome, and just we feel y'all, and we feel that you guys are 100% behind us, and these guys are really, they're getting courage added to them by the way you guys supporting us, so we really appreciate it. Look, before we leave, just want to thank again Corey and Danielle Hill with Signature Custom Cabinets. Appreciate all y'all do for our program, and appreciate the sponsorship, taking care of our boys. And if anybody needs some good custom cabinets for their home build, make sure you give them a call.
Yes, sir. Well, that'll do it for the Week 12 edition, round 2 of the playoffs coming up this Friday against Neville. Thank y'all for tuning in, and Coach, go get them.
Yes, sir.